queue is a virtual location where records can be stored until they are processed by a queue member. It helps in sharing the workload. Records remain in the queue until they are accepted by the queue member or transferred to someone else. Every member of the queue would have ownership level of access to records in the queue. I'll try to explain the use of a queue by giving you this example. Imagine a company selling automobile insurance. Customers can go online and request a quote. The company also has a dedicated sales team to handle such requests. When a customer requests a quote, a lead is created in the leads object, and someone from the sales team needs to take ownership of the lead. So, to make this process simple, we can create a queue which will take ownership of all the leads that get created. The sales team should be able to access the queue. We can achieve that by making them member of the queue, and any member can pick up a lead from the queue and assign it to themselves and work on it. This way, it becomes very easy to share the workload among the sales team. Let me show you this. When a new lead record is created, the ownership needs to change to the leads queue. Let's create a queue on the leads object. I can go to Setup, Manage Users, Queues. We'll create a new queue. Call this Leads Queue. I would like to assign the leads object to the queue. Remember, a queue can support multiple objects, and I can add members to the queue. Only these members will be able to access the records from the queue, and our queue is ready. If I go back to the leads object and try to create a new lead, the creator becomes the owner of the lead. I can go ahead and manually change the ownership to the leads queue. However, I need this to be automated. I can use a workflow to achieve this. Whenever a new lead is created, update the owner to the leads queue. To create a workflow, I can go to my Setup, Create, Workflows and Approvals, and I would like to create a new rule on the leads object. I'll call this Update Lead Ownership. When a new lead is created, update the ownership to the leads queue. And the evaluation criteria would be, when the record is created, I need to put in some rule criteria. I don't really have a rule, but since this is required, I came up with this criteria like created date not equal to Jan 1st, 1940, so that this rule will always fire. I go to the next step and configure an immediate workflow action, which would be a field update. I'll call this Update Owner Field. I can select the field that needs to be updated, which is the owner field, to a queue. Select the leads queue and save. Whenever a lead is created and created date not equal to Jan 1st, 1940, triggered an immediate action to update the owner to the leads queue. I can click on Done and activate it. Let's go try this out by creating a new lead. I can put in the basic required keys and save the record, and you can see the ownership automatically updated to the leads queue. To access the leads queue, you can click on the leads tab, click on the views drop-down and select the queue. I would like to make a small note here. Only the members of the queue can access the records. They can select a record and accept them. And once it's accepted, the record is no longer in the queue. The ownership is transferred from the queue to the user. This way, queues help in sharing workload among team members. Records remain in the queue until they are accepted by the queue member or transferred to someone else. Every member of the queue would have ownership level of access to records in the queue.